my name is Dominique, and I am part of the group that did a fabric game controller. And this is our game controller here. It's green, it's fuzzy, it's fun. And we used conductive fabric and thread and a flora, and we just attached that in the center and then sewed it with the conductive thread and connected it to the conductive fabric. And then we uploaded the code to Arduino and we linked it to a retro game emulator, and so our demonstration is with Zelda.
Hello, my name is Victoria and I also worked on this project. And during this project, when we first came together as a group, we actually were going to do 3 entirely separate projects. We realized we did not have enough time to do that. And so we came together and we came up with the fabric game controller, as Dominique showed. And we had a lot of issues, mostly in getting our materials. Our materials came very, very late. We also didn't understand how to use the flora with the coding. So, but in the end, everything came together. We had someone who knew how to sew, so the circuitry wasn't too hard. And in the end, even though it was a little bit glitchy, it still worked fine, so everything was good. This is obviously not in Arduino specifically, it's an Arduino that is compatible with Flora. And we've imported a certain library that will that senses the pins in the Flora. Have some variables here that relate to like the enter key, right arrow, left arrow, because whereas the A and B buttons are ASCII symbols, enter keys and arrow keys don't work that way. So we have some char variables for that. And then the cap pins here just sets the different pins for each button. Then we have an array for those buttons and an array for keys. Then we have this here, which checks if it's currently pressed, which is initialized as false. And this threshold here defines just, how hard you have to press the button in order for it to work, which right now is really low, and sometimes it changes. And just basically what this code does overall is it just checks if the button is pressed, and if the button is pressed, then it will relate to the same keyboard key. So if you press the A button on the controller, then it presses the A button on the keyboard, which makes the emulator work. And that is essentially all that this code does.